Abandon hope, all ye who enter. It's the 18th of December. I am this finished with my front piece, but I have made a mistake. This repeat, this crisscrossy section, is supposed to have a red background, as it does on the back piece. So I'm going to have to remedy that. I'm going to do that by surgery, sweater surgery. So that is one problem. The next problem, that isn't really that dramatic, is that I should have bound off for the neck 3 rows ago, but I didn't do that because I forgot that the right side and the wrong side together are 2 rows, because the pattern only gives instructions on how to act on the right side. So it said bind off on the first right side, bind off on the next right side, and I forgot that that meant that I would have to take into consideration the wrong side as well. So I'm going to take back 2 rows and redo them, because now I am at the neck shaping, which is exciting. I have a plan, because I am not going to attempt knitting 2 full sleeves with the colour work in the next 6 days. I am, however, going to do a provisional cast on at like a t-shirt length and start knitting the project from there and up. So all of the stockinette knitting I will hopefully be able to do. I mean, if I have time to do it before Christmas, then great, but I will probably not. So that's going to be my vision now, is my partner getting this 3-piece short-sleeved raglan sweater as a work in progress, and I'm going to finish the second sleeve and the full length of the first sleeve in the days between Christmas and New Year's. So that is my current plan. Okay, so I just had to take back 1 row. Great news. I'm going to do a bit of number magic, because my front piece is a size large stitch-wise, but it's supposed to be a size medium. So I'm going to do the size large for the neck shaping and pretend like it was like that's what I was supposed to do. Oh, I wanted to bind off in the brown section, so I have to take back the brown section. And the row underneath is alternating white and red, and there is also a decrease happening. How easy. So now I have to find the middle of my work and then bind off the middle 23 stitches. There are no quick maths happening right now, only slow maths, very slow. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay, now I'm going to try and make this a loose bind off, So using the least amount of tension that I can to not make the edge too tight and uncomfortable to pull over the head when you put the sweater on. This is then going to get a collar knitted into it, so it doesn't have to be the cutest right now, but I want it to be a bit stretchier so it doesn't bunch up before I even add the collar to it, because the collar is going to cinch it in a bit, but I want it to be as stretchy as possible. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Alright, the first decrease round, or the first bind off round, managed. Let me just decrease on this side. I'm feeling quite tired today. I think there is something in the air. Okay, so first binding off. Something in the air, and that something is probably the flu. Continue in pattern as established. Okay, so I am accidentally on the left front when I should be on the right, because I alternated which direction I went, but that is probably fine. Okay, so now I need to remember where in the chart I am, and I also need to remember which decreases they want me to do. And the red does not have a decrease on the side. No. And then I am doing, I need the white yarn to come back. Normally I would be better about weaving in my ends as I go, but since I don't know if this is actually going to fit, I'm not too confident about it being worn. So at the moment there are so many loose stitches just hanging about. And 4, was that what they wanted me to do? I want to do a little, that is down, so that should be red, red, white. That was one. This is tricky. I have very little to no idea what I'm doing right now. Is this a decrease round on the front as well? Yes, it is. I am now questioning everything. I'm questioning everything, and I want to abandon everything. Okay, having thought about this for a few hours, I have decided that this is the front and this is the back that I started with. The back, I didn't hold my white yarn as the dominant for these first few rows. You can see that this triangle is a lot spacier than this one. That looks a lot fuller. The red is just a red, but the white and the red here I also held the red as my dominant color. And this is obviously different than this, but if I look at the entire picture, I actually like, listen to me gaslighting myself, I actually like that these two are different. I think it gives a more gradual look to the colour work, with this background colour being still present for the beginning. So this looks a lot more sparse, and this looks a lot more bam, here we go. So I am going to place a lifeline here, reknit up until this point, and then kitchener stitch it together in this brown row after this point. So all of this is going to be remade to match up with this. I also started, because we had a long meeting, but it wasn't a meeting where I could look at a pattern, I started with the sleeve. So I have cast on the number of stitches that I will need at the widest point. I've knit a little while, and now I'm going to start with this first chart for the sleeve as well. And I'm knitting this in the round for now, because this first chart is going to be in the round, and then I will start doing the raglan decreases on each side. But I want this to be an easy knit when I cast it on the next time, or when I start knitting on it the next time, because now this is just going to focus on the colour work for the raglan so I can seam it together, and then when I have the time I'm going to pick up these stitches and knit down instead. So now I'm knitting from the armpit up into the raglan, and then this cast on is going to come undone, and I'm going to knit down towards the cuff. It's going to create a little bit of a jog where the stitches switch direction, because right now you see the V's like this, and the V's are going to jump over half a stitch, so the V's are going to be pointing the other direction. If that ends up being super obvious, I'm just going to duplicate stitch or rip back and do one row of the red or the white to make it less jarring. But that is the plan, because I need to focus on the colour work section for the next few days, because I want to be able to have a finished garment to give my partner on Christmas, or I want it to be wearable and tryable, and then if it's the right size and everything looks good, then I'll just knit the sleeves, and if not, I'll redo all of it, but then I'll knit in the round from the beginning, because this flat construction sucks. Listen, I am just YOLOing my way through this at this point. I knit the first chart of the sleeves in the round, and now I'm going to decrease for this sleeve, for the underarm, which means I'm going to, hang on, I need to count 3, 4, 5 decreased. Sorry, I was saying that I'm now going to start knitting in the flat again. Still don't know if that's how you say it. You knit in the round, do you also knit in the flat? Or do you just knit flat? Or work it flat? But knitting in the round for this first chart felt so good. I had to modify the chart by 1 stitch because I had an uneven number of stitches to the charts that I had. So I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when, but I don't really understand the logic of if it's a 10 stitch repeat, why should the total number of stitches for a size be like 91 or 101. Doesn't really make sense. Is that something to do with the fact that it's seamed? Then I would think that the pattern would ask you to have 2 stitches too many, because then both of the stitches that you use to sew it together are going to be invisible. But who am I to say? I'm not listening to the pattern designer, except what I am. So I'm now starting the raglan shaping for the first arm, and I didn't think about this yesterday when I finished the front piece, but this is all I have left of my red yarn for the first ball, and I only bought 2. So seeing as the sleeve sections are as large as each of the main panels, I'm going to end up with very, very little yarn left over, which is a bit of a scary thought, because what if I run out? But the front I did knit a bit too big, so it's not going to run out. I'm manifesting that, not running out. And the universe is just going to have to listen. Now I have to count again, because I'm casting off 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and come on, lost strand, 5. Okay, and back we go. In the round. This might have been a mistake, knitting it in the round. I guess I will figure it out. But what else is new? Well, it's Friday the 19th, and I'm now starting on the first sleeve. I don't even have the full stockinette portion finished for the first sleeve, so I am not finishing this in 5 days, especially not since I am going to be spending so much time with my partner in the next few days. I have a board meeting again on Sunday, and I have some time between work and practice tonight. Hang on, I'm trying to make my magic loop actually magic. But that's not going to be anywhere near the time that I need to finish this. Hang on, why is everything so tangled? Why are there... Okay, I thought I had 2 brown working yarns, but I didn't. And then on Monday we leave for family time with our respective families. So first his and then mine. So highly doubt that this will be finished, or I know that it won't be finished. But I am starting to see the end of the tunnel with this project, and I'm starting to think about egotistical knits. After a December of basically knitting only gifts, I am keen to cast on something just for me, and I have a few projects in mind. I'm going to be filming a video about it too. I think that I should do a whip clean out, because I cannot go into 2026 with this many whips. I need my paper pattern for this, except I left my paper pattern at home because I brought my workout bag. Did I bring it? No, I didn't. Fuck. Okay. It's quite difficult to show you the progress because this is obviously started in the round and then worked flat as the raglan was decreased, but I managed to catch this in time. I started knitting this with the red as the background color, just like the pattern actually says, but on my front piece this is brown and on the back it's red, and on the back it's also these and these stitches don't look very neat in the white, so I'm going to be re-knitting this portion of the back. So I will knit this portion brown on the back to have everything look the same. I am now nearly finished with the gradual decreases, and I'm now, hang on, and I then will start with the more aggressive decreases to end up with just a 5-stitch or 6-stitch little top of the raglan, top of the sleeve. I would love to have this finished by this evening so I could theoretically knit some stockinette on the train to practice. I have a little while longer before I have to leave, but I've clocked out a long time ago because it's Friday the 19th. No work is being done. I am knitting and watching YouTube while I happen to be at the office. I can now answer the question that I asked myself 3 weeks ago, more than 3 weeks ago. Can I knit a sweater in 24 days? The answer is no. I did not manage in time for Christmas. I've sewn in a lot of the ends. I have seamed together some of the pieces provisionally, especially these 2 raglan seams, because I am undoing this portion and remaking it, so this portion is not securely seamed, neither is this, but this I just continued with the white thread because it wasn't neat enough yet. This one I did do properly, but yeah, I think that the back piece is just my trouble child because you see the stark contrast between the colours that is noticeable even in real life. And good, there isn't one on the front piece. So tomorrow I am going to, tomorrow I am going to make my partner try it on, see if it fits. It looks a bit small, and if it doesn't, if it needs to be a bit bigger, then I will re-knit the back portion, all of it, because I will then get rid of the troublesome color change and I will get rid of the incorrect, or technically the only correct portion of the back bottom, the first crisscrossy section, but that I didn't like in the first iteration. So I am open to the possibility of re-knitting just the back piece. And if all of it is too small, then I am going to reknit all of it, but in the round, because the raglan seams, they could be fine if I block it. I think they will be fine, but now, so far, I'm not really loving it. So I don't hate the idea of reknitting the entire thing. So that is the update. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to, please click the subscribe button and click the like button. And if you subscribe, you're going to see this sweater finished in hopefully just a few days, because I will then have time to knit on the sleeves while my partner is watching, because it's not going to be a secret anymore after tomorrow. Happy Christmas!